Hey everybody, I'm Ben Moorhead with Old Town Inspection, and this is our next installment of the Neighborhood Heroes series. And I am nominating the Solenbergers, and I will tell you why. Because every time you go there, you feel like you're a part of the community. You feel like everybody is excited to see you, and there's actually people who know their stuff and will help you whenever you're there. But not only that, they've been a staple for this area for a very long time, and that doesn't come just because. Not everybody can just throw up a hardware store and it lasts forever like theirs has, and they've created something that is hard to replicate, and so. That's why I wanted to nominate personally the Solenbergers and their hardware store for our neighborhood heroes this month. And so this is Patti Solenberger. Unfortunately, we don't have John. But we will go through some great questions, and I hope that you are able to glean something from her about being a good neighbor, but also about creating something that's bigger than yourselves. So thank you, Patti. Excited to be with you.
Thank you for the nomination.
You're very welcome. So I'm going to start off. Can you tell me a little bit about yourselves and how you guys got started?
Okay, well, we are Solenberger's True Value Hardware. Um, was started in 1888 by my husband's great grandfather, and he is the J&O of J&O S. Solenberger Company. Originally, it was him and his cousin who was a Stauffer, so the S stands for Stauffer, but his middle name was Stauffer as well. And they started Solenberger and Stauffer. And then the cousin left the business early on, and he proceeded to grow the business. He was in business 20 years, and his building burned down. And so he had to start all over again. And that's when he moved to the Old Town Mall. And our building is still down there. It's the Solenberger building. But we have fourth generation owners. So it's my husband and two of his sisters. And we have our children in the business. And our hope is that they'll be our fifth generation owners coming up soon, and that they'll take over the business and continue it as long as the Lord allows us to be here and continue in business. So you're not in business. It's our 133rd year. And we always say, just, what it's like to be in business a year, but you're not in business 133 years unless providence is on you, the hand of God, because we're like, there's no way, you look at all the economic downturns and recessions, depressions, everything, the wars, the time of war we've been through, all of those things, and we're still in business, and we're very thankful that we're still in business. So we love our community and our customers.
Absolutely. And that I just learned something. I didn't know that y'all had been in business that long.
It's been a long time. We've been through, if you think about it, World War One, the Great Depression, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, all of those things. And when you think of a business, all of those life events affect a business. And we have a lot of history, even in this building. If you ever walk down the hallway, you see all the pictures of our prior buildings and prior owners and all of that. So, and it's remained in the same family, which is very unusual.
Absolutely. So that actually kind of leads me to the next question. So, and maybe you can't speak to the generation, the 4 or 5 generations before you, but why this, out of all things, was a hardware store started, and what has kind of continued your passion for what you're doing?
I think originally the store was a farm implements, and kind of, because Winchester at that time was very agrarian, so it was basically geared towards farmers. And then as Winchester started to grow, you actually had the need for housing and construction. So it kind of morphed into a hardware store. And really, I think we've always sold pretty much everything, housewares, and that's been true our entire history. But for us personally, my husband wanted to be a veterinarian, and but he didn't want to go to school forever. And I think in his family, he kind of always was, he was geared by his dad, like, you're going to take this over one day. You're going to, so he kind of like just came into it. And I think that he grew to love it. Like, he loves it, and he is gifted. Like, if I when I tell him sometimes, I know why this store has been around for so long, because your family, your natural you serve people, and he is so kind and compassionate and caring with people, and I think that people understand that, and he wants to help them. And so that just kind of spreads to your staff. They see that example and they're like, oh my goodness, that's how you are with people, and that's more than anything with our staff. We want them to treat people the way they want to be treated, even better than the way you want to be treated. And so when I see him on the floor, the sales floor, and he's interacting with customers, COVID's been really hard, because we have a lot of elderly, and he would touch their shoulder or whatever, what I'm saying, to show care. But that's all changed. But he just has this ability to connect with people that is just not, it's intrinsic. It's not something that he makes happen. And I just tell him, this was what you were supposed to do with your life. You might have been that way with animals too, but to find people that really care about people is a neat thing. And I just love to see it in him, because it's just his giftedness. So I think we're both that way. We both just enjoy people, and we like to make sure that they're helped. And the other part of that with our staff is to have people that know, like our plumbing guys know plumbing, our electrical guys know electrical. So they are able to walk people through their projects and help them in ways that they can take the time. I've seen my guys back there say, well, give me your phone number, and I'll put your phone number in my phone. When you get through your project, take a picture, send it to me, and then I'll walk you through whatever you need to do. And, we want them to do that. And you're not going to get that everywhere. So
absolutely. Yeah, and to that point, I actually, the last time I was there, I was checking out, and there's somebody in front of me who's quite clearly a homeless person, and the person that was ringing me up asked me to wait just a second while she actually helped the guy with the Keurig machine, and gave this guy attention that maybe he wouldn't have gotten at another store. And he probably came in because it was cold as anything outside that day. But a warm cup of coffee can do wonders for your soul. But to have somebody actually give you attention in that kind of a situation is probably a big deal as well. So I really felt like your values that you bring to the company have certainly trickled down to your staff.
Thank you. Well, it's really important to us. So it's what we want, and we're not perfect. We have times where we don't hit the mark, but that's our goal, is to be able to just give thoughtful, caring service to people. So
absolutely. So I'll move on to the next question. What has been your experience as the company has grown, and how's the community responded to Solenberger's kind of throughout that whole timeline of it being kind of a staple part of Winchester as it's grown?
I think we have grown as the community has grown. And I think that one reason that we're still in business is that we are continually changing and we're looking at how we do things. We're trying to, if something needs to be changed, and change is always painful. I don't care who you are or what you're doing, it's hard to do things differently. But if you're not changing, you're dying. And we try to look at that and say, this year, I have a list that we made on, I was making on my computer and trying to go through and say, what do we need to address? What do we need? And bringing in younger people who share the values that we have and that care enough about people to interact with them and not just have to interact with a computer or a tablet or their phone, but that realize the value of personal relationship and personal touch. So I think that we have been able to grow and change as our my grandson just came in, as our as the community has, and you have got to continue to change. And John just came in.
How has your experience been as the company has grown, and how's the company responded, or the community, sorry, the community responded to the presence of Solenberger's kind of through its time in the area? And so wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that.
Had Patti talked to you about that yet? Forgive me, I have a voice. I have a dysphonia, so I don't talk quite as good as I used to. So if I sound a little weak, that's what it is. I mean, I feel like as far as local, I feel like our community has stepped up to shopping with us, especially over the last year. I think people are trying to, they're trying to be more aware of shopping where they live instead of sending their money out every other places. So I've seen a good result with that here in at least the last year on the community. He was asking about the community, how they've stepped up or how they've accepted us as Solenberger. So
Yeah, I think that I think that there's been a resurgence of being committed to your local community, especially through COVID. We have seen that. And just people wanting to support local, which has been great.
Yeah, and y'all have really pushed the buy local thing, and I think it's a really cool thing to watch happen. Is as like you said, you've got the big companies that that are always going to win the war, so to speak, of market share and stuff like that. But there's always that small business that gives the touch that the bigger business can't. And that's certainly something that y'all bring to the table. And I also really enjoy that it's it's your prerogative to try and make sure that other small businesses can benefit from that too. It's not like, hey, we're the small business that you need to spend all your money at. You want everybody to to buy local wherever they're going, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I think too that we want the customer to be taken care of. So if we have to refer them to Lowe's or Home Depot or another competitor, for us, that is a win, because at the end of the day, they're being taken care of. And if you take care of your customers in that way, they're going to remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll go on to our next question. So why do you think being a good neighbor or community presence is so important?
I think your community is only as strong as your weakest link. We support a lot of nonprofits, and we try to have we have events here. We haven't been able to this past year, but we've always had in the spring a community yard sale, and in the fall we've had a car show, and all of those have benefited local nonprofits. And we choose local. We don't go with national ones because we want the money to stay here in our community and affect those nonprofits that are in our community, so that we're building up where we can. And I think if every business, small business, large business in Winchester took it upon themselves to say, how can we improve our community and be community builders, which is what we want to be, then our community would be so much stronger and so much better. So that's what we try to do. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think sometimes you get into, Winchester has become almost like a bedroom community to Washington. So you have people that are, they're sleeping here, they're being here, but then they go to work and they come home, and sometimes that it makes them detached from the community they're in. But I think when you can reach out and offer community events that people can attend, it can plug them into, who we are and what we do. And, they can rub elbows with other community members and people, and just expand and grow and become, closer to each other, the way I see it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hadn't really thought about the people who sleep here but don't work here and need opportunities to be connected to the community. And if you don't have to go back to DC and you're here for the weekend, how can you be a part of what's going on and understand kind of the fabric of the community? So you mentioned you've got your car shows, not car washes, and other kind of events. So what are some of your plans for the coming years with community involvement?
Well,
Defer to you.
we are kind of we're on hold until the community is able to interact with each other more. Currently, I serve on the board of the Winchester Rescue Mission, so I try to be involved with that, and to the degree that we can do things that are COVID safe. Like right now, they have the Mardi Gras. The Quota Club is basically collecting women's items here at the store. So we're a drop-off point. We can do things like that safely. We have the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. They'll probably be selling cookies or doing something like that here, as long as they're sanctioned to do that. We're still kind of waiting to see what the spring is going to be, whether we'll do the yard sale. We're kind of like, the governor has to loosen up with regards to the number of people that are allowed at an event, but that's kind of put us in a holding pattern. So what we've tried to do is, like, we did chain of checks in December, and basically we rounded up at the register. We'll probably do some things like that between now and when things are healthy enough for people to be back in together and interacting with each other. We're hoping for that this year, because we would love to have our events. We'd love to have Santa. We always have Santa at Christmas, and we couldn't do that this year. We couldn't do we always do the Christmas parade and all of that. So our hope is that as things open back up, we'll be able to be involved in those things. And until that time, we'll figure out other little ways that we can be involved. But
we have been partnering with different community vendors and folks that live in the area that are producing products here, and we like Moon selling some of her home care products, candles, and recently we partnered with Mike Robinson with doing the Winchester Tales books. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but he's written 4 books, Winchester Tales, and we went in and helped him to produce those books and publish them and sell them here. And we try to, when we see something that somebody's doing that we feel is vital or important to our community and to that individual, we try to support them if we feel it's a viable thing to do. So that's something we've done.
Yeah, we have Black Dog Coffee. We try to, any local vendors we try to bring in or somehow support them, because we feel like that is, like he says, that ability to connect with people that otherwise aren't going to be able to connect. It puts them in touch with that business, and then they can either go online or they can go to their storefront, whatever, and support them. They can find them on Facebook. A lot of interaction can go on from there. And that's like giving back in a way that is such a blessing, because we feel like if we were starting out, we would want that too, you know? So it's a good way to support one another.
That's great, man. I haven't met very many folks who can actually act on the big intentions or plans that they have to kind of reach out and help other folks. So it's really awesome to hear that your capacity is used in a way that is building up others. So my last question for you guys is really, what have you learned over the past years that has been impactful for the way that you operate?
I think it's important. Patti might have touched on this earlier. I think when you're in a business, no matter what the business is, you're in the business to serve people. And if you serve people the way you want to be served, and if you help people, whether you can help them or whether you can empower them to get it somewhere else or some other source, or, it helps you and it helps them. And, to me, it's, you get up every day and you come in and you talk to people, and you know who they are, you know where they live, you know what problems they're going through, and they have a project, you listen intently, and then you act on it and help them the best way you can. And I think if everybody did that and took a genuine interest in people, that this world would be a better place, and that we would see businesses that are, not just concerned about the dollar, but I mean, the dollar follows. When you help people, the dollar follows that. And so, I mean, that to me, you start small, you learn people, you learn who they are, and then you follow through with that, and just be who you are, and be true to yourself.
Yeah, I think in that, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. It's so cliche, but it's the truth. People want to know that you're concerned, and at the end of the day, and the end of your life, if you have shown care and compassion to people, your life has been enriched by that, and their lives have been enriched, and you're not going to take any of this with you. So, but you will take something from that. So God has been very good to us.
That's awesome. Sage wisdom from John and Patti Solenberger. Well, guys, I really appreciate the opportunity to sit down with you and learn a little bit from you, and to highlight your extraordinary neighborness. I'll end it by saying, you guys have built not only a great business and a community presence, but you've also built a platform for other folks to grow and succeed. And so, folks, I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you have any hardware needs or personal needs, go to Solenberger's, and they will take care of you for sure. So go and say hi to them and tell them I sent you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ben. What's behind that door?
It's a closet.